Come on in the room. Whoa, come on in the room. Yeah, we got so much to talk about. So don't you come on in the room. Now you sing, come on in the room. Whoa, come on in the room. Yeah, we got so much to talk about. Not really. We got so much to talk about. I said we got so much to talk about. I said we got so much to talk about. So won't you come on in there? Come on. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? Thank you all so much for being here at the last minute. Guys, here, listen, this is what happened. At first, I was just like, I'm done. I'm not going to review this show anymore. But, you know, I'm not saying I'm not going to review the show anymore. I was just like, I'm just not going to finish the season because I don't feel like watching stuff that's going to make me angry. Like, we're gearing up for an election that everybody's terrified about. I want to have as much fun as I can until November. Until that November bloodbath, I want to enjoy as much as my time as a free Black person as I can. You know what I mean? So I just was like, I don't feel like it. However, that's not fair to you, right? We started this together, so let's finish it out. So I decided to watch it today, and I have some thoughts. So I was like, let's do it live. And we're here. How are you all doing? Thank you all so much for being here. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Pisces. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Sha. Hey, Miss T. What's up, Sassy sister? How you doing? Hey, Sasha. Sasha said, I may have to catch the playback. It's almost 10 p.m. my time. Oh, East Coast. I'm sorry. I keep on forgetting. I'm on West Coast time. Sorry. Black Tornado, what's up? Caroline, how you doing? Hey, Sarah. I'm so sorry. I keep on forgetting it's so late for you guys over there on the East Coast. Lovey said, I've been sick today. This will make you feel better. I pray it does. So sorry. Get well soon. Simply Simone said, what's up, Star fam? Can't wait for this reunion torture to be over. I am right there with you. Sasha C said, yay, live started. I'm going to hang in there. Thank you. Yeah, I want it to be over. It's not fun. I do not enjoy it. It's just like, who wants to watch miserable people at work when half of us are miserable at our own jobs? Like, this is supposed to be escapism TV. It doesn't feel like that. Oh, wait, I feel like I'm so low. It doesn't feel like that. Happy Thursday indeed. Hey, Shed Pearl. Hi, sup, people. Bianca said, I'm over this show. I haven't watched any of the reunion. I'm just watching reviews at this point. I feel you. NC said, hey, Nikki in chat, when and how do I start a petition to get Andy fired from hosting the reunions? Because his unconscious bias, more like conscious, is showing. Ciao. Give Me Shelter said, did you see that woman swoon over RHOP for a chicken dinner? Who? Hey, Johnny's acting channel. Johnny said, hey, Nikki, gorgeous as usual. Thank you. Me and you are one and the same vibe as far as Potomac. Man, oh man, how they have fallen. The thing is, guys, remember when Potomac was at saving grace because Atlanta was doing so poorly? Atlanta got to eat. Atlanta has to eat. Listen, I know Atlanta's already filming. Atlanta production, please let them have fun. We need fun. We need these shows to be fun again. Bring back the fun, please. I think I got all the comments. Yeah. Oh, ciao. Let's get into the review. So it's I don't want to say sad, but it is kind of sad seeing Gordon like not get the fact that, or I feel like he gets it and he's just accepting it as his fate and dealing with what is left of his life because he blew it up with Mia, right? And it's really sad because it's so obvious that because he no longer has the funds to provide the life that she got with him, because of, she's now like done and out. And it's like, it's a hard pill to swallow for him, of course. And it is absolutely sad to see, but it's also a life that he set up for himself, right? Because Mia started out as the side chick, then she became the wife after he divorced his wife, because I don't know what it was because of, but probably infidelity, right? And so now he's an older guy, much older than he was when he met Mia, with no money. And he cannot break away from Mia because who is going to take care of him? He blew up his relationship with his first wife. I don't know if he has older kids, but I'm not saying that someone his age is looking for somebody to take care of, but he doesn't have any community. He blew up his life to be with this woman. And now that he no longer has the funds that he once had, this woman no longer wants to be with him. And I'm not saying that it's her problem or she's a bad person because of it, because this was a transactional relationship and he is not keeping up his end of the bargain. So she has to move on, and she's moving on in a way where now she can financially provide for herself and possibly him and live in the happiness that she has now desired because she has the money and she has the love of her life back. And it's just really like just heart-wrenching watching this old guy watch the woman that he loves live a life that he cannot fully participate in unless he's participating as an extra kid, right? Because she's treating him like that. He's somebody that the only reason why she is extending him grace and kindness is because she has children with him. Outside of him being her children's father, I don't think she would be dealing with him as gently as she is. I think she would have jumped ship and never looked back. But she has children by him, so I think she's going to treat him with kid gloves as long as her children are aware of what's happening. And she also, gets to give the kids to him so she can live her life. But it's just like, man, you blew up your life for what? What a sad ending. What a sad ending. Let's move on. So we open up with this reunion. Obviously, Gordon and Mia talking about their relationship blowing up, and Mia lying and saying that she did not leave Gordon for the money. Because he lacked money, she left Gordon because he was mean to her and because she had to provide for him. Did y'all catch that? Her thing was, I have to provide for him now. And he's like draining my bank account. And I don't want that responsibility. But when it was his responsibility, you were okay with that. Again, this was a transactional relationship. So it is what it is. But it's just so funny how the tables have turned. And she's like, I'm done. I'm out. I don't want to be bothered. It cannot be any more obvious that she was just with this man for the money. And I feel like he knew. But I think men like that try to convince themselves, even after, because the women say that they love them, because they stick around and they're with them, because they have their children, because they allow them to sleep with them, they convince themselves that these women really want to be with them. And it's just like, it's what you can offer and what you can provide. And when you no longer can provide that, she jumped ship. And it's nothing wrong with that because you set the relationship up that way. So this is no fault of Mia. This is absolutely Gordon's fault. He set this up, and unfortunately, he cannot keep up his end of the bargain. So there was no incentive for Mia to stay. Why would she stay when he screwed up the deal? She didn't do anything. So we open up talking about that. Then we get into Gordon and Mia are being evicted from their property because Mia does not want to pay what Gordon owes. See, now that he no longer has any money, it's, oh, this is my stuff and this is your stuff. This is what I paid for and this is what you have to pay for. But in the beginning, he was paying for everything. You got to think, men. You got to think. I think it would benefit a lot of you guys to just live in that fantasy in your mind and keep it pushing. When you act on said fantasy, you better be ready to live a nightmare, because what you think in here will never play out the way it's playing out in here in real life. It will never work in your favor. But they're getting evicted from their last property because Mia said, I paid up my portion. He didn't pay up his portion. And we're going to court because I don't want to cover my husband. Oh, so sad. But I wanted to talk about that because I was just like, this is another reason why Potomac needs to be put on pause. We have literal housewives on this show going through an eviction on a show that is supposed to be about wealth. In my opinion, Potomac just does not have the requirements to be a housewife show. They do not have the wealth. They do not have the fashions. They've lost the fun and the comedy, and they hate working with each other, and they do not vibe as a collective. They do not meet the requirements of a housewife show. So they either need to be recast or put on pause until they can come back with some money, better fashions, and a better attitude, because it is just not working in the format it is, or remove production, put another production company under there, and let's get the ball rolling. I also think that they need to get an executive producer that likes Black women. I feel like a huge issue with these housewife shows is that they are hiring a lot of time men, a lot of time gay men, a lot of times non-Black gay men who do not like Black women, or either see them as some kind of sassy minstrel or mammy, and they are giving us these images of Black women that are insulting to us because they only know about them through stereotypes. That's a huge problem in reality TV in general. And I feel like if they put it on pause, if they remove the production company, whatever they do, you need to get somebody at the helm of this show who is probably a Black woman who likes being around Black women. Like, this is a reality TV show. It doesn't have to be positive content, but we need to bring the fun back to these shows. That is what the Black housewife shows were for. The Black housewife shows were fun, were comedy. We had a little drama, a little bit of shade. It never got this dark. And these shows do not work when they get this dark because the audience is not like that. Unfortunately, when, Monique assaulted Candace, it brought in an audience that was salivating at the brutality being done to a Black woman. And I think a lot of that fan base is people who do not like Black women and are not Black. That is another problem with the colorism conversation, because this Potomac audience, you are not speaking to a fully Black audience. You are speaking to a Black audience, but you're also speaking to a white audience. You're speaking to an audience full of men. And a lot of these people in this fan base do not like Black women. So they're going to go up for the brutality of Black women. They're going to go up for the bastardization of Black women, because that is how they see them in a very negative manner. So I feel like they have to, if you don't want to switch up the production company, get somebody at the head of this show who likes Black women. Not somebody who wants to be a Black woman. Not somebody who likes to sit and laugh at Black women like they're at a damn zoo. Somebody who likes Black women. You need to get a Black woman EP over this show who knows what we, the fan base, the Black fan base with titties, want on this show. That's a huge issue with this show. And I think a guy is running this, no shade, not saying that men cannot do it, but there is an issue with this show. This show is sick. Something is not right. Like, this show comes on and it's a bloodbath. It's black women fighting for their damn lives in the comments. And I'm like, what is this? Wasn't this show for us? What is going on? We've lost the plot. We have lost the plot. I said all that to say this show doesn't fit the requirements. They got to go back to the drawing board. Mia, it was very weird when she was just like, everybody reached out to me aside from Candace and Wendy. And Wendy was just like, you assaulted me. You assaulted me. Me and you have never really healed that relationship. So why would I reach out to you after your husband said all these terrible things about you and you guys announced your divorce? I don't care. You assaulted me. We are not friends. And Candace said the same thing. Candace like, I felt bad, but we're not like, why would I reach out to you? Every time you get a chance, you're disparaging them with the green-eyed bandits. Why would they reach out to you and check on you when that is not the relationship that you have? Again, this is the issue, right? They may not consider themselves colorists, right? But they weaponize colorism, because why in the hell are the standards so different for Wendy and Candace? Like Candace says, the line keeps moving. That is the issue here. One of the many issues on Potomac. And as Wendy is talking about how she didn't reach out to Mia because she assaulted her, Robin goes, oh, well, she apologized for that. And what does that mean? I'm sorry, I'm an adult. You put your hands on me outside of a freaking playground after the 7th grade. I don't want nothing to do with you. I won't wish you well. I won't, but I'm not going to wish you hell either, right? I don't have anything to do with you. If you're a coworker and I got to show up and show out and do my job, I'm absolutely going to do that. But you assaulted me. You crossed the line. There's no coming back from that. So however she wants to deal with someone who assaulted her is how she deals with it. Now, maybe you will allow somebody to crack your skull open, Robin, with a purse and be cool with them the next day. That's you. That's you. That's how you handle stuff. Just because that's how you may handle it does not mean that that's how Wendy should have to handle it. And I think you would have thought differently if you didn't dislike Wendy. You don't like her. So you are going to agree with whoever is opposing her because you do not like her. Because I don't think that you would be telling Giselle to make up with somebody and reach out to Candace. You're definitely not doing that with Candace. And she didn't even assault Giselle. So again, it's hypocritical. You just don't like her. So you are now making excuse for her assault. Like you sat there and laughed and filmed this woman getting assaulted by Mia. Like, this is freaking diabolical. These women are crazy. Like, it's such like a low point of evil on this show. And I'm just like, this is supposed to be entertainment. Unless we're watching a horror flick, what is going on this show? Candace and Wendy, for me, were a lesson in grace because they just allowed so much foolishness from their cast members and production, right? Every time Candace and Wendy brought up a conversation or something that happened throughout the season, production didn't have it. But they had it for Giselle. They had it for Robin to defend them against Candace and Wendy. But all of a sudden, production did not have it for Candace and Wendy. And they still sat there and they still took it, especially Candace. Candace kept on trying to sympathize with people and, especially people who do not like her, and just was shut down every time. And especially Wendy, it was just like, this is so upsetting, right? Because we've all worked in hostile work environments, and we all, as Black women, have had to keep a certain amount of grace because of the treatment we will receive if we responded the way that people responded, the way that people approached us, right? If we match energy, then we're the problem. And it's upsetting because every Black woman knows this. It's even more heartbreaking when the person who is making your environment a hostile work environment is another Black woman. It's like, if anybody knows my story, it's you. Why in the hell are you inflicting the harm on me that we both experience? It was just so like just sad watching them have to hold themselves a certain way because they will not be protected. Oh, where is Atlanta? OMG. They were just, for me, I just felt like they were giving grace to so many people who did not deserve it. Robin tried to trip Mia up because I think as the show was going to commercial, Robin asked Mia about where she was living. And Robin was just like, oh, when me and you hung out, we were in Atlanta, but then you guys were living in South Carolina, and then now you said that you're living in DC. So what Robin was trying to do, she was trying to be slick, because what she was trying to say is that Mia does not live in the vicinity of Potomac. So she herself does not meet the requirements to film on the show because she does not live in or near Potomac. But Mia caught it, and she was slick. She was even slicker. And she was like, well, I move around a lot of times, but I do have a condo in DC, and Gordon's going to move right across the street. But who knows? I might end up in Texas. Oh, I just move around a lot. Who knows? Trying to like lighten up the situation, but it was very obvious that Robin was pointing out, you don't live in Potomac and you don't live in DC. I feel like she knows what's up, but she's just, she just let it die out because of how Mia answered, because Mia's a liar, right? And I feel like Mia is living in Atlanta with her new boo, but I think that she's going to probably rent out an Airbnb to film this show during that time. And I honestly don't have a problem with it. I know other housewives might have a problem with it, but if you're entertaining and you're going to bring something towards the show, what is the point? Like, what is the problem? What is the problem? I said I'm fine with Mia. I don't care about her lying. Just as long as she doesn't assault people, I'm good. Also, I'm glad that Candace left. I'm glad for Candace that she left the show, because I feel like we talked about this before, and I was just like, she doesn't need the show. Unlike other people, Candace doesn't need the show. This is no shade to Giselle, because I feel like she's just been a terrible part of the cast member on this show. It's just me being very honest. Giselle can't leave Potomac, right? I feel like a lot of them cannot leave Potomac. I feel Karen can absolutely leave Potomac, but because of her situation and what just happened with the DUI, she has to stay, to probably rehab her brand. But I feel like if we're just keeping it buck, Karen, Wendy, and Candace don't need this show. Like Candace is working on being a star and is a star in her own right outside of the show. Wendy, I think it's absolutely smart for her to stay on Potomac for a season or two and really invest in this talk show, because I think she has something really good there. And I feel like once that talk show takes off, I would get off of Potomac immediately. I will pull a Nene Leakes, come back and forth when it benefits me. And also the Grand Dame. Just use this show to rehab your image, but I don't believe that she needs it, because she is a big star outside of this show, outside of this fan base. Like, people really like her, and I think she could really survive outside of Bravo. I think the rest of them do, and it's so sad that the most miserable people on this show cannot leave this show, and that's probably what's going on with them. They are attached to a job that they probably don't want to do. It looks like it, the Green Eyed Bandits, it looks like you don't want to do this job anymore, but you don't have anything outside of it. You don't have anything to fall back on. You don't have a spouse, and you don't have a career to fall back on. So you are attached or chained to a show that you don't enjoy, and it shows up on camera. But I'm glad that Candace left. This was a toxic work environment. I'm looking forward to Wendy and Karen getting out of here, because I feel like they are going to be brutal to Karen. Now, she deserves it. She deserves it. But I feel like they have raked her through the coals enough on previous seasons. And if this cast is not shaken up, it's going to be another bloodbath next season. And you guys can tell me about it because I will not be tuning in. If Potomac is not fun and enjoyable, I'm out. I'm out. Giselle and Robin absolutely weaponize their children like the Karens they are. They absolutely weaponize their children because they know on their own they cannot garner sympathy. So they are going to say, oh, but my kids, them adult daughters, at least the oldest, like, come on. Like, come on. Oh, you did this to my child and you did that to my child. They do that because they do not have the fan base on their side like they used to, right? So it's because they are being held to the fire and being held accountable. It's like, oh, please don't do this to me, my children. Think of the children, right? And they do that to make other people look bad when it's just like, you're not attacking me, you're attacking these really small kids. And then it's like, you can't say anything to me because now you've crossed the line and hurt my children. And there is nothing that we have seen, in my opinion, this season or past seasons where Candace or Wendy has said anything about her children. Even production that's protecting her could not even show that. Like, there's nothing that they said about her kids, and she knows that, right? Robin knows that. But what they do is lie, because a lie travels farther than the truth. So they're going to make up these lies and these false accusations against these women who already are not liked because of how they look. Hear me out, right? With colorism, and I can say it because I experience it. With colorism, Black people like to play in your face, right? They like to act like what is happening to you is not actually happening to you. And they like to try to make you think that you're the problem. So when there's a situation with a lighter Black person and a darker Black person, the violence is just turned up to a ridiculous amount, right? Such a ridiculous amount that Black people are only able to see it when it's a Black person and a white person, or a non-Black person and a Black person, right? But when it's a Black person with especially a lighter Black person with a darker Black person, or a Black person with another Black person, either light or dark, who has features that represent our ancestors and like prominent features, there is a violence that is released onto those people, right? And my community, our community, does not like to address that, because if you address it, you have to open up Pandora's box. And in Pandora's box is the fact that colonization, white supremacy, oppression has affected us to a really debilitating point where we cannot even be in community with each other without upholding white supremacist standards all across the board. And my people do not like to admit that, because if we admit that, then we admit that there is a weakness within us, and we have this strong persona that we like to keep because it has benefited us. But if we then admit that we have those issues, we don't look as strong as we want other people to think we are. That's the big issue there, right? So when it's a situation like this with Candace and Wendy and Giselle is lying about her children, everybody knows that she's lying, right? There's no receipts. But because she is throwing these accusations at Black women who are darker, Black women who have prominent Black features, a Black woman who is African, all of those biases, the xenophobia, the featureism, texturism, all of those things are built up, and you all of a sudden start hearing and seeing out of that perspective. So although there's no receipts to anything that she said, people are inclined to believe her because of how they feel about darker people, how they feel about people with certain features, how they feel about people with a certain hair texture. And it's believable to them coming from her because of how they feel about people with lighter skin, how they feel about people with the slender nose, how they feel about people with lighter eyes, because white is trustworthy and black is evil, right? So that's where that comes into play. But they act like, oh no, that's not what it is, because I don't hate her. But it's how you are speaking to her, how you are addressing her. You would never address it to someone else who looks completely different, because you know there's protection that comes with that person. But you know it's free reign when you are speaking to somebody like that. So Giselle is obviously lying. The lie does not matter. Because of how she looks, she is going to be credible. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is colorism. Let's move on. Also, yes, Candace was working in a toxic work environment, but I'm also glad that she is leaving, because I don't feel like and even Andy said it, there's no movement. There will be nowhere for her to go with Giselle, because even watching this reunion, every time she tried to open the door or tried to sympathize with her, Giselle demonized her. So there's nowhere to go. So why stay in a place that does not suit you and where you are not protected? So I get it. Good for her. Whoever asked that question at the reunion and said that Ashley did not tell Candace about Michael suing her because she was excited to get some money because Michael financially supports her, and she didn't tell Candace because she would be getting a chunk of that money. Oh, Ashley was so hurt. She was like, I did not know about that, and I was not going to get any of that money anyway. Well, I had a little chuckle because I was like, whoever said that, probably Candace. Hella messy. Hella messy. And it's a perspective that I never actually thought about, because yes, Michael is still financially taking care of Ashley. And if he had won that lawsuit against Candace, she would have been paying Ashley's bills. Ooh, that would have been messy. That would have been messy. Let's get into Robin, Karen number 2, crying about colorism. So, or being accused of colorism. So Andy tries to bring up colorism again. This is the thing. A white person talking about colorism to black people. Anyway, Robin is just like, well, I was not able to move forward with Wendy because Wendy and Candace, because of the colorism accusations, and they didn't protect me. They didn't say, they didn't say that we're not colorists. And thank you, production, for doing something for the darkies. Production showed Candace saying that she didn't think that her castmates were colorists, right? And then Andy says that, and he was like, well, they did say that at the reunion. And Wendy said, yeah, we said it at the reunion. Candace said it at the reunion. And Robin was just like, well, you didn't do anything after that. Y'all don't like them. What else were they supposed to do? Candace is better than me, because I wouldn't have did that. I would have been like, well, you know what? They act like it, and this is what the audience sees. I can't get mad at the audience for what they see. I would have never shut down them colorism rumors, right? And so Robin, this is the thing. Just because they have 3B curls does not mean that they are not the deadliest Karens alive. My God, today, Robin did them tears on cue. On cue, out of nowhere. She's just like, oh, being accused of something. Like, why are you crying? Why are you crying about being accused of being a colorist? Why is that making you break down? I get feeling bad, right? But feeling bad to the point where you are breaking down and crying, you're not on the receiving end of colorism. So why are you crying? The only 2 people who are on that stage that need to be crying is Candace and Wendy. But they got to stand strong, because ain't nobody going to protect them. But you have the safety net of your skin tone and the ignorance of our community that will protect you. So these tears, I know that somebody ate them up and was just like, oh my goodness, look at what they're doing to her. She's crying about being accused of being a colorist, not for experiencing colorism, because she will never know what that's like. She will never know that pain and trauma. But she's crying because she feels like the fan base accused her and Wendy and Candace didn't do enough to protect her. The people who are experiencing colorism has to protect you. Guys, doesn't it sound very familiar? Doesn't this sound very familiar? I didn't believe those tears for 1 second. I didn't believe those tears. She was weaponizing her tears. Weaponizing her tears because she was being held accountable. And in weaponizing her tears, she was also using it as a way to make Wendy and Candace look bad because she feels like they didn't do enough to protect her. You guys were at odds. They should not have done anything. They better than me. I would have fanned the flames. But that's just me. Wendy ate the colorism segment up. She even had to shut down the Grand Dame. Oh, there's nobody more equipped on this show, on this network, than this group of women right here to have a conversation about colorism. Wendy said, absolutely not. None of y'all have the range. None of y'all have the range. Giselle keeps on using her civil rights daddy to try to protect her from the abuse that she has done to other people within our shared community. It has not worked because your actions are what people are responding to. So who cares that your father was a part of the civil rights movement? You didn't learn anything from that. And if you are like this under his teachings, then we have to start questioning how he was leading out. So if I were you, I would stop bringing up his legacy, because it looks like something funny is going on there. Something in the water ain't clean. Who cares if you went to a Black college? Who cares if you pledged for a Black sorority? Who cares? It's your actions and how you treat people is what people are responding to. All of that stuff does not matter if you have a heart of coal. It doesn't matter. It's your actions that people are responding to, not the Black badges that you have acquired throughout your life. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know what's so funny? I forgot that Nneka was at this reunion. The only time I realized Nneka was there was when she tried to defend the Green Eyed Bandits with the colorism accusations in the colorism segment. And the only reason why she said that is because she didn't like Wendy. I think that Nneka actually agreed with everything that was said, but she didn't like Wendy. So she then says, well, are we going to talk about it? Let's talk about it. Let's clear it up, because what are the colorism accusations? Like, what are they saying that you guys are doing? They're saying that you guys are doing these things, but they're not giving examples. What is it? Let's talk about it so that we can clear these things up, because if we don't clear these things up, then was there really any colorism happening? She is a manual acho and a terrible lace front. That is exactly who Nneka is. And I cannot explain it, but Nneka and Anne Marie are the same damn person. They are the same damn person. They are Black people who make white people feel comfortable about being racist. That's who she is. And there was something about her. I could not put my finger on it. The same thing with Anne Marie. I could not put my finger on it until the reunion, until she sat there in Garcelle's face and said, well, Dorit doesn't treat me that way. And the same thing with Nneka. I could not put my finger on it until she sat there and looked at Giselle and tried to act like there was no basis for the colorism comments or the colorism accusations or the colorism conversation. Dangerous. Black people like that are so dangerous. Dangerous for progress, dangerous for the community. And we should have known that that woman was dangerous when she came on this show and clocked the fellow Nigerian and led with xenophobia. Told all them colorist Black Americans that that woman's mother is a witch. Them colorist Christian Black Americans, them colorist Christian colonized Black Americans, that that Nigerian woman is a witch. We should have known who she was. We should have known who she was. But when she said that to Giselle, I was like, there it is. There it is. You are the, I want to be the only one in the room. Extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. Sad to say, she's a perfect fit for this show for where it's going. For where it's going. I'm telling you, the Real Housewives of Potomac is going to be, it's going to be a show that's geared to Candace Owens and people who like having a Candace Owens around. I'm telling you, this show is going to start being made for white audiences, if it's not already. And I'm not saying that all white people are racist. I'm saying that the white people that are indulging in Potomac, a lot of y'all racist, especially them Bravo fan pages. My God, today. So the people who like denigrating and harming Black women and also like Black people to make them feel safe with their racism are going to feel extremely comfortable with the Real Housewives of Potomac. If nothing changes, that is what their show, that's where this show is going. And Wendy, my God, today, if I was you, I just wouldn't interact. I would use this show until that talk show, it's on its legs, and get the hell off of it. Get the hell off of it. Since we're talking about Nneka, the way she talks to that husband, nasty piece of work. And I'm like, not only are you talking to this man like this, you're talking to him like that on camera. And the craziest thing is he just shut up. He's trying to help and protect his wife and give him advice. And she's just like, you are not helping. You need to be quiet or you're going to be sitting back there with Juan Dixon. On camera? We got to get her out of here. We got to get her out of here. I'm telling you, by the way, Nneka leads on this show. I know that she has said something about the protected community. If the protected community is Black Americans, we got to find her old Twitter. We have to find her old Twitter post. We have to find her old Facebook post because I know she done said something, and I know Akata is in that post. I know she done called us all kinds of ghetto, lazy, violent Akatas. We have to find it. That's the only way we can get rid of this woman. That is the only way, because what she is doing is so dangerous. And why it's so dangerous is because we are going to have a dark-skinned Black person, or brown-skinned, Lord knows how she identifies, on this show who is going to tell the Green-Eyed Bandits that everything that they are doing to the darker castmates is fine. There's nothing there. She is going to validate colorism, just like Anne Marie validated racism on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Extremely dangerous. She got to go. She got to go. And I feel like the only way we can get her out of here is if she comes after the protected community. We got to find her post. We end this reunion with Robin grilling Chris about some woman who said that he showed her his penis, but she then retracted everything and was just like, I'm not having an affair with him or whatever. And then she came back and said that she was. But Robin was sitting there looking at Chris, grilling him with glee. And I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this kind of behavior called, right? Because this woman, with the husband that she has and the way he treats her, that has been documented, is sitting here gleefully grilling this man who has been documented as being nothing but faithful and adoring to his wife, grilling him about an allegation that has already been proven to be false, but trying to make it seem like this man is an adulterer when she's living in a real life situation. How do you even set yourself up for that and not realize what you're stepping into? What is that called? It has to be more than diabolical. It has to be more. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. What do you guys have to say? Let me get into my super chats. Kylie C, thank you so much. Kylie C said Potomac is trash and it's beyond repair. I agree. The only way for Bravo to take action is to stop watching this show. I think that's what's going to happen because I think a lot of the new fan base who came to the show because Monique assaulted Candace, now that Candace is no longer getting beat up because they won't be able to do that to Wendy, right? They can't take her and they won't be able to take her down. Now that there will not be a violent gang up on a Black woman on this show, I don't see the viewership being anything over 400. I think we might get 500, 500,000, I believe, right? 500,000. I think we might get that on maybe the first 3 episodes, because that's probably when they're going to address Karen's DUI. But I think outside of the DUI episodes, I think the views are going to plummet because there will not be this kind of violence that they're looking for, that they're salivating for. Like, for a lot of them, this is a Mandingo party, a Mandinga party. You know what I mean? Like, there are literal people who like watching Black people be harmed, or just violence and negativity happening to Black people. A lot of people like watching that, and to be honest with you, get off on it. So I feel like if there's not going to be a dark skinned punching bag on this show, I don't think it is going to do well. Thank you so much, Kylie C, for the super chat. Kim Cat, what's up? Said no tears fell from Robin's from Robin's eyes. Robin is so fake. Not one tear. Not one tear. And again, you don't have to be a colorist to weaponize colorism. Right? You don't. But you can talk to and you can treat somebody a certain way because of how you look and because of how they look. And that's just applied to color. Let's apply it to class. As somebody who probably comes off or looks middle class, even working class, that you can make an accusation against someone who is, poor, unhoused, and your word will be taken over this poor, unhoused person. It's just privilege. That's all it is. It's just privilege. And I feel like people cannot see the privilege when it benefits them. Or no, not see, refuse to see the privilege when it benefits you. That's all that is. Let me get some other comments. Give Me Shelter said, Mia and Gordon are in on the storyline together. I believe so as well. They are broke. We're broke down moral. I know, that's right. Read them. Oh, what's up, Chick Fight? How are you? Said, hey, Nikki, love you. Glad to catch this live all the way from the UK. Shout out to the UK. I want to, my UK subscribers, y'all have really been rocking with me over there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, UK. We will see you in August. NikkiStar UK supporters will see you in August.
From her lips to God's ears.
NikkiStar, let them know. NikkiStar is coming.
Latoya, I'm not saying anything until stuff is solidified.
My name is
Toya Star, get away. Get away. Not everybody should have been free from that plantation. Forgive me, Harriet Tubman, but it's just like I hate sharing a culture and community with idiots. I hate it. I hate it. I love being black so much, and I just hate the idiots to just ruin it for me. Shout out to Issa Rae, but I am not rooting for everybody black. CM said it's going to be funny when she has to pay him and the family welcomes him back. Ciao. Oh, Gordon has older kids? Oh my God. They probably don't deal with him because he blew up the family. Oh, he has kids around her. Yeah, they don't deal with him. They don't deal with him. Give Me Shelter said, when Andy had Michael Rappaport and Amy, the Bad Joke Seller on Watch What Happens Live, I knew what time he was on. Oh, anybody that platforms Michael Rappaport. Hello. Drewski said, girl, call Wendy and Candace the AED cables, because in these episodes, all they did was clear. Oh, they did it. They did it. Blue Jay said, cheating is always depicted as fun, a cute thing, or a momentary slip up. They never show what happens when you mess up your family, dividing your family and communities. I hope people see the results. Exactly. And the people who suffer the most are the kids. The people who suffer the most are the kids, because there's probably some animosity from Gordon's older children and the younger children. And the younger children are probably just wanting to, be loved. Right? They didn't mean to be, children of an affair. You know what I mean? It sucks. It sucks. Give Me Shelter said, Mia's a liar, and I find her more unappealing than Robin, which says a lot. She doesn't even have the instinct to protect her own children from her pathological lies. I'm out. Yeah, bringing up that stuff about her son, that was low. Very, very, very low. The naive Evian says, how do you feel about the paternity storyline? This is the thing. Like I said, I like Mia because she's interesting. I don't mind the lying. She's a bit too desperate for me, right? And desperate, and the fact that she will sacrifice her child for a storyline. That's a bit scary. That's a bit scary. But are we really shocked with the way she talked about her mother on this show? I don't want a housewife that will do anything for $1. So that's alarming. That's alarming. I don't like it. And I'm so glad that Karen came in and shut down Andy and Mia and was just like, we're talking about this child and this baby is going to watch this. We don't need to have this conversation, because our oldest is old enough to watch this. So he's already at this point, or probably watched it with us, and is now probably questioning who's his father. And that would have never brought up had Mia not brought it up and allowed it. So that's scary. Yeah, blew up your life. Blew up your life. And that wife would have been there right beside you with that broken wee-wee. But you blew up your life. Now you're an old man with a broken wee-wee, no money, and you have to sit there and be cordial with your wife and her boyfriend. You should have let that stay a fantasy. Hey, Nicole, so thank you for being here. Give Me Shelter said, Mia and Gordon. Oh, we got that one. Johnny's acting channel said, tell him, Nikki, man, you better listen. She's speaking facts. Think with the brain, not the wee-wee. Akusa said, Nikki, girl, you looking good. The skin is skinny. Thank you so much. Sunscreen and retinol, baby. Give Me Shelter said, I think the Real Housewives of Potomac could have more substantial housewives if they let Giselle go. Absolutely. This is the thing. And I'm being very honest with you guys. Something is off with Giselle. She was at that reunion and just looking miserable and just raging. She was very different from what we have seen. I personally, from the time of watching Potomac, I've never seen her like this. Like, she is just visibly out of it. Just not enjoying this process. And like I said before, I think that she is stuck because she can't leave. She cannot leave and still have the lifestyle that she has because of this check. She's giving miserable. It looks like she is extremely miserable. Naive Evian said, Wendy and Candace give me a little bit of money, but I need more. I need someone to put them on a private plane. Yeah, listen. We're not elitists, but this is the basis of the show. This is the basis of the show. You are supposed to have money. Like, that is what this show is supposed to be about. And so when we're watching this show and you are talking about getting evicted or you were talking about not getting divorced because you can't pay your mortgage, that's not a conversation that should be had on a show about wealthy women. You are not meeting the requirements, so you should not be on this show. Blue Jay said, and I feel like it kind of shows the men who want that life what they bring to the table. If the only thing you can bring is money, can you be pissed if people only come to you for that? Absolutely. He set the relationship up like that. There's nobody to be mad at but Gordon. He set this up, and when he could not fulfill his end of the contract, she was out. Is she wrong? Absolutely not. He didn't fulfill his agreement. You'd be surprised. A lot of Bravo shows are not produced by Black women. They're produced by white men. If you look at the EPs of these Bravo shows, white men. Misogyny is king. Give Me Shelter said Monique ruined the Real Housewives of Potomac and Giselle is the nail in the coffin. If we're going to keep it buck, Giselle ruined the Real Housewives of Potomac. Monique just messed up because she went after the wrong target. We were all watching that season like, Monique, Giselle set you up. And Monique didn't figure it out until the reunion. It's too late. It's too late. Miss Brown Sugar said Housewives wasn't always about extravagant wealth, and I don't feel like it always needs to be. Potomac gets plenty of reason to be paused, but I don't need them to stunt like Beverly Hills or front like Atlanta. I absolutely agree, but there is a huge financial difference from where they started to where they are. We are everywhere we go with these women are local. Like, where's the next event going to be? Home Goods? There's nothing wrong with Home Goods. I'll be there tomorrow. But I'm working class. I should be there. Why the hell are you there, Ashley? Something's wrong with this formula. It's not working. Absolutely. 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 Give Me Shelter said, so sad how many Black men are enduring the discourse on the show. Slavery and colonialism really did us in. How could it not? You know what I mean? Like 400 years of slavery, we're going to do a little something to the brain. Like Miss Brown Sugar said, amen and amen and amen. The contempt of these women is clear in all the ways they played this cast, starting with their lackluster production budget. Yes. And the thing about it is, I need Bravo to, well, it won't work in their favor, but there always needs to be an actor on this show, right? Or somebody who came, who worked in the industry before this show. Because that's when things are expected and asked. These ladies are not actors. These ladies have not worked in the industry. So they don't know what they should be getting. That's why them Atlanta girls get money, right? Because they got actors on that show. They got people who are in the entertainment industry who knows what they should be getting paid. These ladies are so uneducated about the industry and what they should be getting paid that they are taking just lackluster deals because they don't have the education. They don't have the experience and they don't have the knowledge. And they probably have a management and agents who are getting incentives from the studio to shortchange them. It happens all the time. All the time. I don't think that Mia, Sasha C said Mia has abducted herself into the beige 4. I don't think she has. I think Mia will go anywhere the wind blows just to stay on the show. Because she'll talk about them, she'll talk about Wendy and Kit, she'll talk about every and anybody, and then she'll align with them and align with it just to stay relevant. She's working for this check. And she said, I'm not calling to console a woman who's been cheating on her husband left and right, sideways, all up and down the DMV. Mia's delusional. She's not the victim. Absolutely. And they probably were just like, this couple is messy. We're not getting involved in that mess. Miss Brown Sugar said, in every segment, the question is, Wendy and Candace, why didn't you bend over backwards again? Yep. That's the thing that blows my mind. As somebody who is not in a sorority or, or like these black sororities or whatever. I'm not in it, but I have family members who are in it, and I know a lot about how sacred it is and how they all really look out for each other. I'm so shocked that this is playing out on TV and like their sorority has not stepped in. It's crazy to me from what I know. And it's not a lot, but it's like there's a sacredness there that is just being disrespected. Sasha C said, I'm not a fan of Monique's character, but I liked her. Her opulence was needed for the show. Yes, I agree. Green Eyed Bandits was jealous of her. Absolutely. And then Ashley put a plan in motion to set Monique and Candace up. Absolutely. Blue Jay said, if Robin can see why Wendy and Mia, our friends in the Green Eyed Bandits, should be kicked off the show because they dislike if Robin can see why Wendy and Mia can be friends, then the Green Eyed Bandits should be kicked off the show because they dislike some cast members. Blue Jay, are you missing something? I don't. What are you trying to say? I couldn't quite put it together. Can you write it again, please? I'm sorry. Give me Shelter said the gag is Robin would never stand for that type of treatment, but because she is emboldened by unreconciled race issues in America and in the fan base, she's allowed the grace of whites, BS privilege. Yes. And the thing about it is Robin is acting so uneducated in race when there are clips floating over of her floating all over Twitter of her questioning Katie's race and how she identifies. But when it comes to this conversation, you're not equipped. Well, you were equipped when it was when you were trying to find out how black Katie is. That's when Katie was like, you whiter than me. Like, what are we talking about? Chocolate Capricorn said the production does not like Dr. Wendy and Candace. I know Andy doesn't like Candace. I don't know if they do or they don't, but I do know that the latter cast members are protected on this show from what we've seen. That's why people are like, this has to be colorism because how are they able to get away with this? Sasha C said, I did not like Monique, but I can acknowledge she was used by the Green Eyed Bandits. That grace is never extended to Grace or Wendy. Everyone turns off their critical thinking just to appease the Green Eyed Bandits. I agree. CM said, the way they hate Candace and Wendy is sad, but those two keep being blessed. Wild, ain't it? Yep. No weapon. CM said, Rob the Builder. Sees how Mia is going to take over from Giselle, but can't see. Oh, ciao. They're staying on this show because they know the benefits of it. They're not going to run Wendy off. And I'm not saying they ran Candace off, but it was just like, girl, this was not a good place for you. No shade, but Candace is far too sensitive for the environment that this show is. NC said, production is very biased. Like you said, the clips, but also the questions they gave Andy to ask. I looked at Andy's tweet where he's asking for questions. So many calling out. Yep. That was shocking. Give Me Shelter said, even though Andy announced BravoCon is canceled as 2025, we should hold our own BravoCon at the African American Museum in DC at the Barbara Jordan Exposition. Listen, why not? I got this one from Kylie Steve. CM said they swear Candace is so nasty, but she never brought a black man or former congregation member on. Baby mama? Or is that a BF is baby mama? Let me know. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you for being here. Drewski said, considering the mountain of issues Robin has, she always has too much audacity about the non-Green Eyed Bandits. Always. I love Wendy's talk show. I hope that it wasn't just for the show, like some fake storyline, because I thought it was good. Yes, in Bloomingdale's. And that gags me every time I go into Bloomingdale's and Sherman Oaks and I see her stuff. I'm like, wow. You getting that Sherman Oaks money? You better go, girl. They know that they're saying that she's hiding behind that Bravo Instagram page that everybody has blocked. She's messy. Robin talks to bloggers. She's definitely a Bravo stan page. She absolutely is. Sasha said NikkiStar TV. If Candace is NikkiStar TV, say if Candace would join another franchise, I would like to know from your perspective where she can be a good fit. I don't see anywhere she would be a good fit. I don't see anywhere she would be a good fit, to be quite honest with you. I I think if she's going to do reality TV, she needs to do like game show stuff, like The Traders and stuff like that. Um, but I don't see any other show working for her. Yeah, I don't see it. CM said, "How can Giselle make it about the kids, but lie bigger and bigger on Chris's kids, and they know about the attacks those kids went through?" Honestly, I just don't think they should bring up kids in general. Like, I don't think I should be bringing up people's kids or spouses. Like, that's just something you just should not play before a TV show. But there's no bottom for them. Akusa said, "I could be no housewife because if you put your kids in some lies, then they would be the casualties you've made." Fight fire with fire. Give Me Shelter said the black people playing around with colorism refuse to admit that they like darker people's oppression. Absolutely. It feels powerful being the oppressor. Absolutely. People are obsessed with privilege. It really only weakens us as a community. Absolutely. And that's what I was talking about. I think we had this conversation like 4 lives ago where I was talking about how black women being homophobic to like black gay men, and it makes no sense, but I get why they do it, because as black women nobody protects us but each other, right? We have no protection. We are the most hated, the most disrespected, the most copied and envied, but it's like there's no protection there. However, we have no privilege. However, when it comes to the gay community, if you're a straight black woman, you finally have a privilege. And I think so many of them eat that up and go full homophobe, because they might not believe it, or it is what it is. But the thing that gets them going the most is that they finally have a privilege. Privilege is addicting. It is addicting. And if it comes across the wrong person, it could be deadly. Akusa said, many of us suffer from so much internalized racism and Eurocentrism. We are blind to hate. We are blind to hate from us towards us. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, thank you. Maybe I'll be on the show. Wendy, give me a seat. Give me a seat on that show. We'll have a good time. Blue Jay said, I was on reality TV and I hated it. I think I would go back home, go to college and make it work. It would be humiliating, but wasting away on something you hate can't make work. You can't make work. That is sucky. Yeah, we've all been at jobs that we hated. Eventually some of us quit, but some people stay there and just hate it. And they work miserable. They make everybody around them miserable. We have all worked with a boomer who has been at that job for 30 years and has hated it for 20. And what does that boomer do? Make your life a living hell because they're miserable. Sasha C said also the fact that producers let the xenophobia storyline run for episodes reflects that they do not care, showing black women in a favorable light. And also they got to feed the beast. And the beast is that violence that came when Monique assaulted Candace. Because yes, it's people who are messy, who like to see fights, but it's also people who like to see black women brutalized. That's what we're dealing with here. Give Me Shelter said, Nikki, remember Truly Original has experience with colorism because they produce basketball. Akusa said, many black women worship egocentric. Did you mean Eurocentric presentation that when they see the green ad band, they literally see better, good, or right? Well, it's been beaten into us. Right? Listen, I'm not rooting for everybody black, but I love my community and I get it and I understand. My issues is like there's far too much information now for us to still be here. I feel like with all the knowledge and information that we have concerning our existence, concerning the things that has happened to us, it is a choice. That's why I have no tolerance for it, because you are making a choice to be colorist. You are making a choice to be homophobic. Like with all of the information that we have, you are making a choice to be misogynistic, right? You are making a choice. There's too much information out there now for you to still think this way. You are making a choice to be xenophobic with all the information out there, especially if you are, I'm not giving boomers grace, but I will say if you are Gen X or younger, you're making a choice. Gen Alpha, I'm gonna get them babies, I'm gonna get them babies some grace. But if you are Gen X, millennial, Gen Z, you're making a choice. You are literally making a choice to be awful. Too much information. Too much information. Oh, really? Kathy said DC is closer to Potomac than Robin, who is in Baltimore. Hmm. You think I should probably know that, shouldn't I? Hey, Jazz, how are you? NC, thank you. I got a lot of experience with it. A lot of experience. Akusa said, baby, they called Ashley Lee's car. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's interesting the lawsuit was for $2 million and Ashley Lee's house called. Whoever wrote that was so messy. Hold on, I got some more super chats, so let me get those super chats. I got this one from Kylie Steve. I got this one from Kim Cat. Ken, thank you so much for the super chat. Ken said Giselle's energy is draining and she's boring. Me is declassing the show in my Nene Leaks voice. Thank you, Ken, for the super chat. We got another one from Kylie Steve. Kylie Steve said Giselle was pissed because she was assigned to the second chair. Yes, I forgot about that. And it showed throughout the reunion. Yes, that's a good perspective. Thank you, Kylie Steve. Kim Cat said Andy is the culprit of the gizzards, mainly, and Roberto, of Gizzard and Roberto not taking accountability of lying. And please go back and watch season 5. Robin is smiling during Monique and Candace's fight. Oh, absolutely. She put it together. Her plan worked. Karen pointed it out at the reunion. Yep. Thank you so much, Kim Cat, for the super chat. Yep. You are all right. You are all right. NC said, as quiet as it's kept, Candy protected Rob and Giselle last year by saying she did not think they are colorists, and she knows they are, but said they weren't to avoid even retaliation. Didn't work though. I agree. What? Ciao. V said, I remember season 1 of how they bullied Katie over her choosing to be biracial and recognizing both of her racial DNA. Yep. So colorism and race talk has always been a part of this show. This is not new. They're lying and playing dumb because they know that they're going to garner sympathy. You're playing into it. Miss Rodriguez said the best moments of the reunion were Dr. Wendy breaking down why we don't give a F about Robin being uncomfortable and Candace saying, I'm sorry that Giselle will weaponize her daughters again. Yep. Listen, Wendy ate that up. Wendy ate that up. Hold on. Sasha said Karen was prepared to talk about about a whole bunch of nothing. Wendy, the true scholar, said not today. Yes, and she did it in love. She didn't have to. Again, see, we gotta have grace. We gotta have grace. Because the response, if she would have read Karen the way she should have, the response would have been so different. Well, well, let me, what is her father's name? Barbara Lee. Oh God, I gotta call Navient. I'm sick of them. I will say the only, because I wanted to make sure this was true. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying so far I haven't found anything about it. But all I found so far was a TikTok. Oh, because it's not Barbara Lee, it's Barbara Jordan. Barbara Jordan. Oh, it came right up. Oh, it's true. Oh, it is true. Oh, okay. So Giselle makes sense. Giselle makes sense. Well. See, and you brought that up. You brought him into this, and now his receipts. Ciao, ciao, ciao. You should have left him out of that. Oh, she got on my nerves. Where's the colorism? Because if we don't have the colorism, like if we don't have the receipts to talk about it, was there colorism that actually happened? Ooh, ooh, dangerous. NC said, as quiet as it's kept. Oh, we got that one. Miss Sugar said, all of the institutions Giselle listed were heavily influenced by colorism too. Absolutely. HBCUs, Divine Nine sororities, and evil civil rights legacies. Absolutely. That's why we have Angela Davis. And she even talked about it, which was very brave of her. She talked about how the Black Panthers put her up as a representative because of her light skin. She said that they made her a leader over darker Black women who were leading before her and were probably more powerful in the community. But when they wanted a leader to speak to the globe, they put her up because of her fair skin. The Black Panthers. Free my people, Lord. Free my people. Yep. Tim Scott, and all them deceiving gums. Dangerous to the community. Dangerous to the community. Georgia said, well, Nikki, if we're being honest, there was colorism within the civil rights movement. Yep. Especially in the NAACP. Just think that they chose Rosa Parks. Yep. As the one that didn't give up her seat on the bus. It was a staged protest. The lady who actually started off the movement was a younger, a 15-year-old Black woman, darker skin, 4C hair, and she was pregnant at the time. And the NAACP did not think that she would be a good representation of Black people's struggle. So they got Rosa Parks. That was a staged protest. Give Me Shelter said, chat, engage with the emojis to your right. Oh, what's happening there? What's happening there? Something I can't see it on my StreamYard in. She absolutely is what she's claiming that Wendy is. Absolutely. If you can't be trusted by your own, I can't. Come on. We should have known when she went after Wendy. We should have known who she was. We should have known. We should have known who she was. Literally played into American ignorance to tear down another Nigerian woman. Diabolical. Diabolical. F-teen, right? 22 said, the fact that Giselle used her being an AKA as defense of her not being a colorist. Girl, do we need to show the receipts of that organization in the paper bag test? What's not clicking? What's not clicking? Nasty to that man. And I'm just like, listen, I always say this for these women that come on these reality TV shows, you are sitting here talking about your husbands who are like providing this life for you and is treating you all kinds of well. And then you are literally showing the world how poorly you treat him. I would never play with my relationship like that, especially now when the hoes who are already hungry are starving. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Sasha C said, what Nneka doesn't realize is once she made the comment about Juan at the end of the episode, you called it. I never even thought about that. Yo. I never even thought about that. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. And her only ally would be Wendy, who will give her nothing. Hopefully, Momi said they're going to pile on Wendy. Hopefully, she can pull in a few of her friends to provide her some level of cover. Hopefully. Give Me Shelter said the WWC guys have the worst takes about who is that? They perform so much mental and emotional gymnastics to excuse. They applied the most insane conspiracy theories to make Candace and Wendy look. Who was the WWC guys? Kim Cat said folks are talking about boycotting Real Housewives of Potomac. Whatever floats your boat. I'm not going to tune in. Like I'm saying it early. Something needs to happen. Like Potomac and Atlanta was supposed to be the fun shows. They haven't been fun. Hopefully Atlanta delivers the joy. Potomac is just it's too like it's traumatizing to watch. It's traumatizing to watch. And I'm just like, the real world is already so depressing. Why am I clicking in and watching this show where everybody is depressed and miserable and hates their job? Why the hell am I watching that? So they need to. I might tune in to see how they're handling the Grand Dame, but I don't think I'll be reviewing it and helping it in any way. It's just not an enjoyable time. It really isn't. Sasha said there's chatter in the streets that their marriage is a front, but I got to check in with my Najia friends to get the real tea. Ike just wants a baby for legacy. Nneka just wants the marriage title. Well, to be honest with you, welcome to Hollywood, right? Like that's a lot of relationships out here in LA. So. I mean, if it's an arrangement, hey, get what you want out of it. Get what you want out of it. Cleared. He was like, I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about nothing. Yeah, she got feelings just like she felt that I did something. Feelings are interesting, aren't they? Ciao. Blue Jay said, what is Wendy's show about? Do she talk politics, culture? Yes, all of it. What is the concept? It's like a Black View. What network? YouTube is her show on. I like the way Wendy talks. I'm interested. I don't know where it is. I just saw it on the show. And I thought that it was a cute segment, but I don't know if it was just storyline. But I think she should really make that a thing. They hate it because not only does she have a husband that's faithful and love her, he's white. So she has this privilege that they don't have, right? They have privilege over her. They don't have privilege over him. So they can try to get her as much as they can. They can't end her because she has white protection from a white straight man. Oh, they can't come for her. They can't touch her. And that's why they can't stand her. Momi said, it's unfortunate that once these types of shows allow more than one person of color or Black person on a show, one of those people have to be a pick-me and go against the original Black castmates. Listen, I hate that, but unfortunately, it's such a reality. It is such a reality. It's just like there's no way you can not show that because there's always going to be a Black pick-me. There's always going to be a Black pick-me. Kosovo said, I would have had to give Rob the Todd Tucker. You know so much about what my husband is doing, but you didn't know what your husband was doing in that hotel room. Exactly. But see, Candace and Wendy were on their grace. They were on their grace. And of course, we didn't want them to be on it, but I think they did what was best for them and their mental health, and I support it. Blue Jay said cognitive dissonance. Maybe you removed yourself so far from the situation you cannot see your fault in the issue. Maybe a lack of self-awareness, never being held accountable, or being introspection. Probably. That's exactly what it is. Thank you for giving words to it. It's violence porn. Like them people who watch fight videos. Like, how in the hell are you like finding joy in somebody's skull being cracked open? Again, people who watch like boxing and everything, I get it. It's a thing that I can't watch it. I was invited to a boxing match, and the way I was sitting there, the person that brought me was so embarrassed because I was like, I could hear like bones breaking. It just did something to me. I'm like, oh my God. I could not understand how everybody was able to like to sit there and see like blood coming from these people's faces, bones breaking, teeth falling out, and like, y'all chill. I was traumatized. I couldn't even do anything after. I was like, go to dinner. I'm going home. I'm uncomfortable. I'm going to throw on some Karen Clark Sheard and read Psalms. I'm uncomfortable in this situation. Again, but that's like, some people can take that. I can't. I need unicorns and rainbows and daisies. I need joy stuff. That stuff, it is not for me. But I say all that, and I used to really love wrestling back in the day. But I think I just knew that it was fake. Maybe. Maybe. Kathy, what's up? Kathy said, I haven't watched a single episode this season. I'm here because I miss you in the chat. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, the audacity of privilege. That's good. That's really good. Simply Simone said, Potomac is going downhill at this point. The viewers have to put up with so much for the Green Eyed Bandits. And now that Candace is gone and Wendy is ready to head out, this show has nothing to work with. Yep. Give me shelter said, the thing, I've been in spaces where whites call out and convict the Black community about our kitchen table talk and then simultaneously deny racial structure. They know what they are doing. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because if I continue to deny something that is actually happening to this person, then the person starts to go insane. Because it's happening to them and I'm telling them it's not. So you have no choice but to go insane. NC said, OMG, we still have to get through part 3, which will be the Shrine, Xenophobia, and Deborah fight. They're going to be coming for Wendy and Candace again. Hope they stay strong. Oh, part 3 is going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath. I think I might probably go live right after just to get it out of the way because I don't want to start my week with that. Hey, thank you for watching us in Spain. Oh, thank you for being here. She is. I love her so much. Jess Jonda said, Potomac came out the gate as a mess. It was basically a show about boring Sharice and her light-skinned friends, plus Ashley. Everybody else is an outlier to them. True, true, true. Let me see. I got some more super chats. I got this from Ken. Got that one. Got Kim Cat. Chocolate Bunny. Chocolate Bunny said they'll never bring Katie back, not because of her mental health. Her white adjacent rump would rock Giselle to her core and rally with the chocolate girls. Yes. But I do think it's due to her mental health, though. I do think it's due to her mental health. I personally would not want her back. This environment is so toxic. I don't think it'll be good for her. Namil said, Candace can't win. Oh, she's mean. And when she sympathizes for a death, she's fake. Pick one, make it make sense. If you bully me, I'm not reaching out, but I can have a heart for what you're going through. Yes. Yes. They make it seem like it's so like unheard of. It's so, do you reach out to people who beat you up? Like, y'all are crazy. They're crazy. I heard that too, Frenchie. Frenchie said, I heard they were trying to convince Candace not to quit. Her leaving a hostile work environment is not a good look for Bravo. Yeah, I heard that too. I mean, I would try to keep her because it won't look good. It won't look, I get it. But if I was Candace, I would not come back for less than $1 million. Malty said, hey, Star fam, I'll be a part of the replay gang. It's really late early here in London 5 right now. So sorry. This will be earlier. It'll be earlier next week because I got to get in and get out. Hate them. I can't wait to be finished with those demons. Elise said, Barbara Jordan is a trailblazer in the Black politics. Mr. Grave had a problem with a Black queer woman having more power than him. That's exactly what it was. Exactly what it was. I got Chocolate Bunny. Give Me Shelter said, Nikki, would you consider doing, I don't know, TV and movie reviews? Is that what you're asking? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm actually compiling a list And me and my friend Kenny, I think you guys have seen him before. We performed together as well. We have some movies that we're going to go see. And yeah, I absolutely plan on doing that. I just needed to have more time. And I finally have more time. Kim Cat said, and Giselle making a dumb and most racist comment, my friends are dark. I went to an HBCU. My man was dark. She literally said, I have dark friends. And I had sex with a dark peen. Oh, child. It's so crazy the way, like, black people or dark people are just thrown out as an excuse. OMG. Let me get a few more and then we can get out of here. It's Kima said, child, I've been boycotting for years since Monique left. I like Monique, but I saw Giselle for who she was. We all saw that, but Monique. It was so crazy. I'm like, Monique, how do you not see that you're getting played? And I was like, it's going to get worse. I watched reviews and that's it. Yeah, it's a mess. Oh, watch what crappens. Are they white? I feel like, no shade, I feel like if you are a white podcaster, you need to tread very lightly with the black shows, especially a black show that is dealing with colorism. If I were you, I would skip this season. I would skip this season. Just John just said, after seeing how everybody was fine with Portia snagging her co-worker's husband, the rest of the housewives like Nneka and Robin better watch out. It's open season. Ciao. The Optics said, Wendy has a legit talking show on YouTube. I tune in. She's captivating. I gotta check it out. What's the name of the show? Miss Brown Sugar said, Nneka's fitting to mess around and get the wrath of her messy cousin-in-law right back at her. She is. Nana just told me that she brought up wine. I didn't even think about that. Robin don't play about that man. Robin don't play about that man all the time. Listen, she used to flirt with that man all the time. However, if he did something to make her uncomfortable, her flirting with him doesn't matter, right? But we all know. We all know by her own admission that what she said happened did not happen. Ryan said, hey, Ryan said, Giselle is literally the biggest problem with the show. Bravo needs to get over her being one of the faces of the show and cut her loose. She is in her Lisa Rinna era for me. It is giving Lisa Rinna. It's time to put her, if you don't want to fire your queen, put her on pause. Elise said, y'all, I don't like talking about women's appearances, but is it just me or is Giselle Bryant just average at her age today as opposed to Karen, who looks good? Well, Karen has got a lot of work done. I don't think Giselle got anything done. It's just a woman aging naturally. I think the facial expression she was making did not help her appearance, but this is what a woman in her 50s should look like. 50s, right? Because, oh my goodness, remember that lady tried to cuss me out because I said that she was 60? Forgive me. I don't know how old these ladies are, but I know they're too damn old to be acting like this. Blue Jay said, well, wrestlers are actors, performers, and personalities. I don't think they're in the business of cracking skulls. You're right. But back in the day, you couldn't tell me that wasn't real. Suck it. Oh, I used to love Scotty Too Hottie and Grandmaster Sexay. That was I love wrestling back in the day. I need to get back into it now because there's like 3 black women who are like the face of the WWE or F, one of them, and I got to get back into it. Yeah, I haven't seen any previews either. I was waiting for it. I think that last episode, part 3, is going to be so loaded. They are not going to give us clips of too much or even previews because they just know that it's going to be a really hot topic. Because by now, we would have damn near seen the episode with how many clips they like to release. We haven't seen anything. I just saw a little sneak peek on Twitter of the next episode, but I'm like, it's Thursday and you guys are just dropping that. That means that Sunday is going to be a bloodbath. It is going to be messy and I'm going to avoid it at all costs. All costs. Oh, you're in Japan? I know that's right. I want to do some traveling. My sister, we're trying to set something up for London. We'll see. We will see. Blue Jay said, but I am only happy for Candace leaving because you can only take people gaslighting and actually bullying you. She's trying to get pregnant. Why would she stay in this environment? Absolutely. And there's just so many other things right now that are happening in her career that will legitimize her outside of this show. She doesn't need it. Miss Brown Sugar said Candace quit right there on the reunion stage. You can see her frustration when Andy said they didn't have the convo with her and Wendy, yelling, "Get out of here." And Candy said, "Yeah, I'm out." Yeah, I saw that too. Good for her. Good for her. Oh, thank you, Sasha. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. I do my best. F. Usher said, I'm late, so I came to the room to give a like, and we'll join the replay game. Thank you. And thank you all so much for joining me. We have about 230 in the room. Amen. Please like up the video so, I can show up in the algorithm. Oh, they're white. Yes, white Bravo. Yes, white gay men. The Bravo Bro skit review the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. I respect the self-preservation. Yeah, they're smart. They're smart. I feel like when it comes to like colorism and the conversations, I would stay out of a show like that. I would absolutely. If that is not my community or my issue, I wouldn't talk about it because there's no way you could talk about it from a perspective where you would get it because it's not something you experience. Yikes. 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 Miss Brown Sugar said for Candace, I would need to see a huge pay bump, entirely new production team, and a direct line to Andy's boss. If it jumps off, there's no moving forward under current conditions. I agree. Give Me Shelter said The Rock has fallen out of favor. They keep booing him at those wrestling events because he's rich, right? He's rich. So he's talking like a rich person now. And you cannot be a rich person who is talking like a rich person and trying to preserve your richness while trying to be relatable and likable to the poor and working class where you come from and those same communities that built you. You're no longer relatable. So, of course, you would be nothing more than the enemy to them. So, yeah, of course he wouldn't do well. He's the enemy. Yes, thank you, the NNH. The NNH said the three women for WWE are Jade, Naomi, who I love, and Bianca Belair. Wrestling is very interesting right now. The companies are fighting right now, so it's a big soap opera right now. And when all else fails, what do? Bring out the blacks. Bring out the blacks. Kim Cat said Nneka better stop. Roberta will be putting her finger on her forehead like she did the original forehead at her breath. Child, it's coming. It's coming. She set herself up though. She set herself up. Never go against your sisters. Never go against your sisters. Dee Dee said nothing infuriates me more than hearing Kelly Dodd speak on Garcelle's plight in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Microaggressions because it's just pure racism. There's absolutely something not right with her, but like all of her takes are out of racism. That's why I don't listen to her or Tamra and that other girl with that weird walk, the girl with the big slew-footed feet, Teddy Mellencamp. Yeah, because it's just like the way they talk about Garcelle is just like, guys. We hear it loud and clear. Like your critiques of her, come on. We know why you feel that way and think the way you think. Garcelle cannot breathe. She will blink and they will find an issue. She will smile and they'll say that she was menacing and trying to harm one of the White Housewives. Like how they have a platform is beyond me. Drewski said, The Rock is so disappointing. Black and Samoan, so double minority and straddling the conservative line. My first crush is trash. Has your first crush ever been like outspoken about the plight of Black and Samoan people in America and in their other respective nations? I feel like this is who he's always been. He just has money now. Yes, Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. I will pick that up next week along with 90 Day Fiance, Vanderpump Rules, and Vanderpump Villa. I'll pick those all up next week. Oh, but he's not Black or Samoan. He's The Rock, right? See how that worked for OJ. Ciao. Blue Jay said, who do you think will leave or be kicked off next on the show? I feel like the two people who have a secure seat right now are Wendy, because you can't kick her off because there's colorism allegations, right? So you get rid of Wendy, then there's no way you can deny colorism. So her seat is secure. Karen is secure because it's Karen, and also the DUI storyline. I feel like everybody else is up for grabs. I think Giselle actually might be in the hot seat. So we will see. I think if anything, the only thing that is keeping Giselle is the fact that production will expect her to grill and humiliate Karen. That's what I think. Yeah, I feel like this is who he's always been. This is who he's always been. Oh, yes, and I'll be reviewing Love After Lockup. Oh, shoot. Tomorrow. You know what? I might, it depends on what time I get back in, but I might review Drag Race, because I think this is the season finale, right? Tomorrow? I might do that. We will see. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. We've been here long enough. I stayed 10 minutes after the time that I wanted to get out of here because I love it. I missed you guys. Thank you all so much for joining me. We will be picking up probably, if not tomorrow, Monday, for the finale of this freaking reunion. And it'll either be 90 Day Fiance or Summer House. We will see. It depends on how my day pans out. But thank you all so much for joining me. I had a good time. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you all, whoever was not feeling well, I hope you're feeling better. And I hope whoever stayed up with me is finally going to go to sleep and get some rest. Thank you for staying up. Good night or good morning, London. Love you. See you all soon for something else. Bye. Now it's time for me to get dessert.